Okay, I don't know. I was having some kind of dream, and what I remember right now is I was talking to my dad, and there's a swimming pool, and he goes, "Oh yeah, like I don't know." He would call me out to swim like at midnight, or like sometimes 2 a.m. I'd go out and take a swim or something, and I was like, "Oh yeah," we were just talking, and then I was waking up, and it was like talking to my brother Israel. You'll be covered by the water, and you will be saved. Like, my brother Israel, she'll be covered by the water, and you will be saved. I don't know. And then it kind of reminded me of like John the Baptist, where he says, "I baptize in water for the remissions of sins, but there's one coming that, I don't remember the whole words, but there's one coming after me." Okay. And then also when Jesus was talking to Nicodemus about to be born by water and I think the Spirit or something, born again. He said, "How can you be born again? Can't go back into the womb." Okay.
Okay, the beginning of that dream, I said I was talking to my father, which was my dad in the dream. Okay, but it was my father. And I was in a house with a swimming pool. I don't know, I keep having dreams about pools and swimming. Kind of like new birth or covering like baptismo or re- remission of sins and things like that, like a cleansing for the coming. Okay. And my my father was telling me, oh yeah, and he was talking about God. Okay, he was talking about God. He would call me out to swim at different times. Like, and that's when he said, like, at midnight I'd go swimming, or at 2 in the morning I went swimming, and I'd go, yeah, yeah, like I know, I understand that. Um, and then I got this revelation. This was all at 5 in the morning.
I think 12 on the clock means midnight, but time's up, and 2 means the second coming.
So I was asking, I was trying to figure out, what does 12 and 2 mean? Why do I remember that? And I was like, okay. And I was falling back to sleep, and I woke directly up. That was at 5:34. Okay. I'd probably went to sleep maybe, the first recording was at 5 a.m. So this next recording was at 5:34. So I'd probably been asleep maybe 10 minutes, if even, because once I did that first recording, I went and kind of walked around and did, went to the restroom and things like that. So within 5 or 10 minutes, I woke up and did the next recording, because it wasn't really a dream. It was kind of just like heard in the spirit that midnight is like time's up. It's the end of the day. It's the new day, the end of the day, that the new one's beginning. Like, it's time's up. And two, for like 2 in the morning, but two is the second coming, or the second birth as well, like the rebirth. You were born and then you're born again. But I heard in the spirit the second coming on that one. Okay, so October 19th, 2023, the evening. I can guess at the time. I should have looked. It could have been around maybe 10 or 11 at night, 10 at night, 11. Um, my son and my daughter were in my daughter's room cleaning out her rabbit cage. He was helping her. And my daughter came to me and first told me, Mom, um, Thomas heard like a trumpet, a low trumpet. And at the same time he heard the trumpet, I heard a harp. And I was like, really? Like, you heard a harp? And she goes, did you hear that? And I was like, no, I didn't hear that. Um, I'm trying to think what time it was. It was late. I'm joking. It was like 11. It was going on midnight. It was probably 11. We were up. We were doing things. Okay. So it was almost midnight. Okay. And she heard a harp and he heard a, what she said was a trumpet. But then I asked him later. Okay. So I then sat down and they were still cleaning out the rabbit cage. Um, and he came to me and he goes, Mom, um, is there a Lamentations in the Bible? And I said, yeah, there's Lamentations in the Bible. Why? And he goes, I heard Lamentations. Okay. And now my son, he reads the Bible. He's reading, obviously has not gone through when he's learning the books of the Bible. He's older. He's, you know, we're all into reading and he's new into reading and um, has not read and gone through a lot of the books. But that's okay. I haven't gone through a lot of the books and I'm a lot older and God leads me to some that I haven't read through as well, which I'm admitting that. Yes. Okay. So I told him, yes, there is a Lamentations in the Bible. I said, why don't you grab your Bible when you're done and we'll see what God's trying to say. Okay. So later on that night when they were done, we were sitting together and he grabbed his Bible and this is what, I asked him about the trumpet as well. He said, well, you know, like I said, my daughter heard a harp, but before she heard the harp or on the same time, he heard what he said was a low hum, like not buzz. It was like a low hum. So it wasn't like what you would think we've heard shofars or trumpets, but it was like a low, not alert sound, but like a hum. I don't know, not someone humming, but I don't know how he put it. It was like a low hum, I think is what he said, like a type. I don't know. Okay, so that's what he heard. And so he opened up the book of Lamentations. And I'm going to be reading from his Bible, which is the New King James Version. Okay. The book of Lamentations, chapter 1, is what he was turned to. Okay. Jerusalem in affliction. How lonely sits the city that was full of people. How like a widow is she, who was great among the nations. The princess among the provinces has become a slave. She weeps bitterly in the night. Her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, she has none to comfort her. All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. They have become her enemies. Judah has gone into captivity, under affliction and hard servitude. She dwells among the nations. She finds no rest. All her persecutors overtake her in dire straits. The roads to Zion mourn, because no one comes to these set feasts. All her gates are desolate. Her priests sigh, her virgins are afflicted, and she is in bitterness. Her adversaries have become the master. Her enemies prosper, for the Lord has afflicted her because of the multitude of her transgressions. Her children have gone into captivity before the enemy, and from the daughter of Zion all her splendor has departed. Her princes have become like deer that find no pasture, that flee without strength before the pursuer. In the days of her affliction and roaming, Jerusalem remembers all her pleasant things that she had in the days of old, when her people fell into the hand of the enemy, with no one to help her. The adversaries saw her and mocked her downfall. Jerusalem has sinned gravely. Therefore, she has become vile. All who honored her despise her because they have seen her nakedness. Yes, she sighs and turns away. Her uncleanness is in her skirts. She did not consider her destiny. Therefore, her collapse was awesome. She had no comforter. O Lord, behold my affliction, for the enemy is exalted. The adversaries that has spread his hand over all her pleasant things. For she has seen the nations enter her sanctuary, those whom you commanded not to enter your assembly. All her people sigh. They seek bread. They have given their valuables for food to restore life. See, O Lord, and consider, for I am scorned. Is it nothing to you, all you who pass by? Behold and see if there is any sorrow like my sorrow, which has been brought on me, which the Lord has inflicted in the day of his fierce anger. From above he has sent fire into my bones, and it overpowered them. He has spread a net for my feet and turned me back. He has made me a desolate and faint all the day. The yoke of my transgressions was bound. They were woven together by his hands and thrust upon my neck. He made my strength fail. The Lord delivered me into the hands of those whom I am not able to withstand. The Lord has trampled underfoot all my mighty men in my midst. He has called an assembly against me to crush my young men. The Lord trampled as in a winepress the virgin daughter of Judah. For these things I weep. My eye overflows with water, because the Comforter who should restore my life is far from me. My children are desolate, because the enemy prevailed. Zion spreads out her hands, but no one comforts her. The Lord has commanded concerning Jacob that those around him become his adversaries. Jerusalem has become an unclean thing among them. The Lord is righteous, for I rebelled against his commandment. Hear now, all peoples, and behold my sorrow. My virgins and my young men have gone into captivity. I called for my lovers, but they deceived me. My priests and my elders breathed their last in the city, while they sought food to restore their life. See, O Lord, that I am in distress. My soul is troubled. My heart is overturned within me, for I have been very rebellious. Outside the sword bereaves, at home it is like death. They have heard that I sigh, but no one comforts me. All my enemies have heard of my trouble. They are glad that you have done it. Bring on the day you have announced, that they may become like me. Let all their wickedness come before you, and do to them as you have done to me. For all my transgressions, for my sighs are many, and my heart is faint.